Hi, welcome to another webinar for Mayah's Legacy. My name is Dominique Jacobs, and I am very happy to be your host. This webinar is about empowerment through grief, a challenging subject. What is empowerment? Well, I have looked at several explanations as I find it a complex subject. To me, personally, in short, the meaning of empowerment is putting someone in their power. But that doesn't reveal that much, does it? Wikipedia states that empowerment is the process by which someone is encouraged to decide and act independently and stand up for themselves. This, done with methodologies that lead to increasing self-confidence, self-awareness, and to a positive self-image in individuals as well as groups and organizations. Empowerment assumes the ability of people to give their lives form and meaning, developing and deploying one's own strength and having one's own direction being the essence of empowerment. Now, empowerment begins when you feel heard, seen, respected, and acknowledged. So, is empowerment instigated from the outside in? Not solely. One can learn to empower and one can develop in such a way to eventually feel and be empowered. In other words, you can also empower yourself. What is it about then? Well, empowerment is about taking responsibility for our own lives, for our own happiness, for the direction we take, and for the circumstances we create for ourselves. It's about taking control of our destiny and making the most of who we are and what we have to offer to ourselves, to others, and to the world at large. Now, how does one increase self-confidence, self-awareness, and get to a positive self-image? Well, keep an open mind. Challenge yourself. Start maybe a new skill or hobby. Set boundaries, very important. And be mindful, as well as be curious. Know your emotional triggers and listen to yourself and assess your self-talk. Use all your senses in the here and now. And there's a very easy exercise to use all your senses and to bring you to the moment, which is, for example, you use your hand where you have 5 fingers and you say, 5 things I see, and you actually look around and name the 5 things you see. 4 things you hear, and you actually listen and say those 4 things that you hear. 3 things that you feel physically. You might feel the hair in your neck, or you might feel glasses on your nose. 2 things that you smell, and then 1 thing you taste. You can also go towards the appreciation of things by stating what tastes good to you, and then that can be, for example, your favorite food. What smells good? The flowers, grass, perfume, something cooking. What feels good on your skin, and that can be a warm bath or a hug or sunshine. What sounds nice? Maybe the sound of the sea or the birds or your favorite song. And what do you see that is beautiful? For example, a sunset or flowers or a person or colors. Now, as I've been talking about the appreciation, let's take that appreciation a step further. And a step further means we go to gratitude. Now, as human beings, we are more likely to focus on the lesser moments or on what is missing. It's a very natural way for us human beings. when we are constantly thinking about what is wrong or what is missing, we don't leave much room for what is going right or what is present. Now, gratitude has the power to help those grieving rise above their loss. It's life affirming, and it can provide hope and healing. Gratitude is a transformative way of dealing with loss. Being grateful while grieving doesn't mean being happy about the circumstances surrounding the loss. Gratitude is a very pure and a very healing and soothing energy with a very high vibration. It is a feeling that is more something of the soul than of the personality. Ego, for example, doesn't like it because ego can't do anything with the feeling and or the thought of gratitude. As human beings, we have many filters, and we also look through different lenses. And actually, gratitude is just like that. Another lens, because you look at your life and you look for those things and for those moments that you can acknowledge with more than just appreciation. Now, the question is, what do you prefer? Do you prefer to keep yourself trapped in the current situation? Or do you prefer to open the door to something else? And that something else is something that you have no guarantee of success in beforehand. Are you ready to start consciously allowing and experiencing gratitude? Learn to be consciously grateful, because pleasant feelings lead to a positive vibration. And with this, you in turn attract those situations and people who match that positive vibration. So it's just like that boomerang, it does come back to you. When you suffered loss, it might feel like all your dreams and wishes shattered. And it might not be easy, but very important nevertheless to have wishes and dreams towards the future, about the future, and to pay conscious attention to them, because this does lead to growth. Check as well where in your body you do feel that feeling of gratitude. And once you know where in your body you feel it, try to understand as well what it does to you. Does it give you a tingly feeling or a warm feeling? Whatever it is, try to name it as well. Now, it's not obvious for some to look at things in a positive way on a daily basis. So just be aware of your feelings. You can, at any time, turn around the way you are in your life. Every day and every moment in every day is another new beginning, a new start, and also a new opportunity to take that next small step, which does take courage. And as you can read on the slide, there are some benefits of gratitude, like better health and sleep, higher enthusiasm and alertness. Gratitude makes less materialistic, so we're going to pay less attention, or there's less importance to materialistic things. It gives you more energy and optimism and positivism. And it also makes for a greater connection with other people. It helps you to achieve your personal goals, and it also protects you against stress and burnout. And it leads to growth. The important thing is to find a way that suits you, that it doesn't become a must, which would create resistance if it becomes a must to practice the gratitude. Now, you do feel immediately a lot better when you realize how much you do have to be grateful for. And there is always something to be grateful for, even when things are really hard. Sometimes it's really very small things, and sometimes it can be a big thing, but let it surprise you. The gratitude of the smallest things are like seeds that you plant and then start to grow. And the feelings grow with you, and then you start to feel it more and more. Give attention to this feeling of gratitude every day, and you will be surprised at what comes your way. Gratitude is a form of mindfulness. It teaches you to cope better with less easy moments and events. The longer you can be in a state of gratitude, the more your system heals. You become softer, and your field becomes lighter. In short, gratitude is an essential component on your spiritual path. Now be aware, gratitude does not mean that we should only focus on all the positive, because that means we would be denying a big part of ourselves and of the universe. So it's like you can be aware of the dark in order to recognize and see the light, and vice versa. You might know the expression, what you give attention to grows. Well, it does exactly that with gratitude as well. Now, the choice is yours. What feeling do you want to grow in your life? What do you want more of? And that can be your decision. You are in control and in charge of your thoughts as soon as you become conscious of them. When you are grateful for everything, including that what is now, then you are open to possibilities. Now, on the slide are 3 different exercises to practice gratitude. There are 3 examples. There are many, many more. I just wanted to give you a few examples here as well, to give you an idea what it can be, because there are so many and various things. And also there, it's important to find what suits you. So the first one I wrote down is journaling. And an easy exercise there, for example, is to every day write down 3 things for which you are grateful in that day. And they can be everyday, ordinary moments. Describe those 3 things as detailed as possible and capture the essence. What feeling did you experience? Try to do it consistently every day. It's not about doing it at the same moment every day, because that might cause friction and resistance as well, and then it's hard to keep it up. But try to do it consistently every day, whichever moment you find suitable. And it's a moment to stand still and become aware of the things that you feel grateful for in that moment. So the second exercise is called Hygge, and it comes from Denmark. And it is meant to strengthen and slow down a feeling of satisfaction. What they do in Denmark is, in their homes, that's what they call hygge, they make it cozy, to also be nice to yourself, to be kind to yourself, to be mindful with yourself, to pamper yourself with whatever things you like. It might be candlelight and a blanket, or to take a bath, or quiet music, or go for a walk in nature. Also create a place for silence in your house, in your home. A place where you can meditate or write, for example, to do that first exercise of journaling. Just be in a quiet, serene place with a cup of tea and write down in your gratitude booklet. Enjoy the time with whom you like to spend time. That's a third one under hygge. And the one that you enjoy time with and to enjoy spending time with, include yourself there as well. Include nature. In this way, you give yourself things to be thankful about and to feel the gratitude. The third exercise is called Ho'oponopono. And following the ancient Hawaiians, all our problems arise from our thoughts, which are colored by painful memories from the past. They see forgiveness as an act of love, a great gift from yourself to yourself. And Ho'oponopono is about 4 sentences. 4 sentences that help you to let go of the painful thoughts. And then they can be said or they can be sung. You'll find on YouTube, you'll find many examples of this one. And the 4 sentences consist of, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. In this process, you turn to yourself inward instead of outward. And by saying thank you thank the universe for the opportunity to heal the situation. So you actually show gratitude for the healing process as well. So these are just 3 examples of exercise that you can take with you and work with. And as I said, there's many other ways to go about practicing gratitude. All right, let's go to the next slide. Now, if you are not empowered, what are you then? Unempowered? Disempowered? When there's not enough guidance and you feel powerless, you might feel overwhelm and confusion, doubt. You don't know where to start and you procrastinate and you are quite disengaged, then you are unempowered. On the other extreme, there is too much guidance, which also gives you a feeling of powerlessness and no growth opportunities or ownership. And again, there's a disengagement. That's when you are disempowered. When you feel empowered, you feel trusted and respected, and you have the opportunity to make impact. There are growth possibilities while you take ownership and are very engaged. Now, empowerment is a process. We've said that at the beginning. I'll say it again. It is a process. And it is a process of educating yourself about your grief. It is knowing what your triggers are, knowing how to feel your emotions, knowing that it is beneficial, knowing what is beneficial, and knowing when you need to say no or no thank you. Empowerment is a process of educating yourself about you, about yourself. Empowerment is also the process of setting boundaries for yourself. So these boundaries keep the harmful thoughts, the harmful people, the harmful objects out. When you know yourself and how you live in your grief, you will know where your comfort zone is and where safety lies. And you can stay within your chosen boundaries. And it is, by the way, not a must for those boundaries to be within your comfort zone. I'd even recommend you to step outside of your comfort zone, just a little bit every time, a little step out of your comfort zone and play with those boundaries. Empowerment is also the process of choosing goals on a daily basis. And each day, choose 1 or 2 or 3, how many you want, but things that you will accomplish. These goals can be large, but they can also be really small. But make sure they are attainable for you. And to give you an example, when you're in deep grief, a goal can be to get through the day just breathing, and that's okay too. After loss, life is changed, and this requires an integration of the loss into one's life. Now, the statement, "it is not a matter of letting go, but of connecting differently," is very significant here. Gradually, people regain the ability to spend emotional energy for things beyond the loss, and you learn to love life again. And true words of compassion validate the grieving person's grief. Adults tend to try to lessen the pain with words like "time heals all wounds" or "you'll get over it," etc. And such comments are like they want to remove the grief. And that is, in fact, impossible. You can't take away a grieving person's grief. The grief is there. The grief is present. If you want to take away the grief by your words of comfort, then the person grieving will not feel seen, will not feel heard, will not feel acknowledged in his or her grief. Therefore, it is not empowerment. So let that grieving person experience that you see the grief, that you recognize it, that you can acknowledge it. Simple words, not words of seeking to diminish the grief, but only words of affirmation. We always feel better when we are empowered in whichever situation. And a grieving person is no exception to that rule. Empowering grief is one of the most powerful ways to give real support to someone. By affirming that grief is allowed to be present, we are telling them that we understand they are going through a difficult time. We're not trying to make things better. We're not trying to fix things. We just want them to know that we understand, that they feel hurt, that they feel sad. And those are words of compassion. Now, grief is a natural part of life. So do not suppress or avoid grief, but rather lean into it. Allow that pain to be felt. And please know that empowerment is possible while living with grief in life. And also know that grief and gratitude can coexist, can go hand in hand. Now, I would like to thank you for being here. As I said, my name is Dominique Jacobs. I help pregnancy loss moms to create space for deep connection with their loss, with themselves, and with their environment. And in an inside-out process, the emotional charges and deeply rooted beliefs are solved at an epigenetic and cellular level, so that you can make an enormous shift and grow consciousness, find peace of mind, enjoyment, and a renewed zest for life. Let me know what your takeaway is from this webinar today. I'd love to hear from you and get to know you better, so don't hesitate to get in touch via social media or my website, and you can book a free connection call for a direct personal chat as well. Warm greetings from the heart. Bye-bye for now, until our next meet, and to all of you, I wish you gentle holidays. Find that connection, find those persons, find gratitude within you. Love to you all. Bye-bye.